much for joining or watching tonight's training session, which is an MSC presentation. So the reason I've decided to go with MSC is because, first of all, a lot of people have been asking about MSC and how to get your quotes, etc. So I know that there is a lot of clients out there that are wanting them. And it is a contract that we do have in place. I am just sorting out the final details on how to register people for that. You will find that very soon on the Travel Cafe and on the Facebook page. If you're not following the Facebook page, please make sure you do follow Archer Travel UK, because you will find updates on there. Sometimes you might find some offers posted on there and things like that, and anything in the way of signing up for MSC in this case, or any other supplier, will always be on there as well. So yes, I've decided to go for MSC. So I've put this presentation together. It's more of an overview. It doesn't go very, very deeply into it. Once we're up and running with the system completely, I will do a system training. But for those of you who've been asking about MSC and where we can book them, it'll just give you a little bit more of an insight as to who they are, what they do, and the different, I don't want to say classes, the different things that they do on board the ship. That will all come to light as I go through it. So let me share my screen for everybody. Perfect. So everything we need to know about MSC Cruises. So just a very short company overview. So they were actually founded in 1989. So they're not the oldest and they're certainly not the newest. They've been around the block and back is probably the best way to put that. MSC Cruises operates one of the world's largest and most modern fleets. And they've now got 19 ships, and they're definitely not stopping anytime soon. And just a very, very, very short history of them. So they evolved hugely in 2003, and that is when the Lyrica came about. Prior to that, they were little known, certainly within the UK. They are an Italian company, which to me just screams food, which is perfect. But literally, since the Lyrica came about in 2003, they have upped and upped and upped the game, the size, the facilities on board. And like I say, there's certainly no sign of them stopping that anytime soon either. The overview of their fleet. So as I've just said, they do actually have 19 different ships. So I'm not obviously going to go into all of those. But every time they are building or bringing out a new ship, you will find that they are larger than the last. The technology has been upped from the last, the amenities. As I say, your onboard services. But they are also very much becoming more aware of the eco-friendly side of things as well, which I know is a big thing for people more so nowadays than probably ever before. And then as you can see there, it does say future orders include the Seaside class. Now, this doesn't exist as of yet, but this is something that they're working towards. So where it says class, just again, for anybody who's brand new to cruising in general, what you'll tend to find is in this case, 19 ships. Those 19 ships may be put into, let's say, 5 classes. That doesn't mean big, that doesn't mean better, or, you know, we're not talking middle class and upper class and all of that kind of thing. What you tend to find is the smaller ships will be in 1 class. Then your next size up of ships will be in the, whatever they're calling them, let's say B class and C class and D class, etc., etc. It just so happens that obviously they may have 3, 4, 5 ships in each class of ship. You'll find that they're all very similar. Some are even identical ships to each other. The facilities will be the same. The restaurants will be the same. And then, slightly contradicting what I've just said, it's certainly not lower, middle, upper class or anything like that. But what you will find is when they bring out a bigger ship, it means that they do have room for more technology, more advanced amenities, more restaurants, larger, everything sort of gets bigger and better. That will then form a new class of ship. Then they may get 3 or 4 more that are pretty identical, etc. I am aware I've also gone off on a tangent there, but I feel like when they mention classes, it is something that can throw people off. We'll talk about that in more detail, I'm sure, in times to come. But you will find that most cruise companies do have classes. And then their mission and their vision. So as I have just said, they certainly won't be stopping with the amount of ships and the new classes and the way of looking at things. So with the eco side of it and all of that sort of thing, that will continue and that will grow. And you can see there, the company's vision emphasizes continuous innovation, sustainable practice, and broadening its market presence. And of course, they'll do that with bigger ships, more restaurants, more amenities, fancier technology. So all of that, although they are already implementing it, will continue to grow. And then their sustainability initiatives. So they are committed to environmental sustainability. Cutting edge technologies are going to help with this, and that's going to reduce the emissions, optimize the energy efficiency. And then their focus on marine conservation includes partnerships aimed at protecting oceans and marine life. Again, for some people, not something you'll have or will necessarily think of. For others, this will be quite high up on their list when it comes to thinking about travel. And then continuing on, I've just put a small overview of the destinations that they cruise to. So for the Mediterranean, their iconic ports include Barcelona, Rome, Athens. Obviously, there is plenty of others, but you will find that quite a lot of their Mediterranean cruises will start from these places again. So when it comes to adding your pre and your post hotels, should your clients want that, you've got an idea of their main Mediterranean ports. And for the Caribbean, places like Bahamas, Jamaica, St. Thomas. I mean, of course, the list absolutely does go on. St. Lucia's quite a big one, Barbados, St. Kitts, Antigua, Aruba, there's loads of them. So for anybody that fancies the Caribbean, they do plenty of Caribbean. They do Northern Europe and the Baltic Sea. So Stockholm, Helsinki, Copenhagen, and they do also do places like St. Petersburg for anybody who fancies Russia, which I know for cruisers, certainly those who may have cruised a few times before, places like St. Petersburg seem to go up and up their list. South America, so we've got Buenos Aires on there, Rio, Santiago, somewhere totally different. I think when you think of further afield cruises, you kind of instantly go towards the Caribbean or the total opposite side and go to somewhere like Australia. But these kind of areas, obviously, they're not the cheapest, but they really do become like a once in a lifetime. And they are always looking for new itineraries. They're always introducing new itineraries. Where the sort of balance with new itineraries, unfortunately, where things can change. Your smaller ships mean you can go to smaller ports. And nowadays, people are going bigger and better. So it means that they're having to find new ports that can still fit them in. Literally, some of the ports cannot fit the ships in, so they just can't go. But they are always looking for new ports. This is obviously a sign of things to come. And just while I'm still on itineraries, the other one I want to very briefly touch on is their United Arab Emirates cruises. Going back a couple of years, they would come up at probably the best prices you could ever possibly imagine going out to Dubai and Qatar and Abu Dhabi and places like that. Oman, I think we touched into Muscat. If you have customers, clients that want to go that way, always offer, I mean, obviously check first, offer one of these cruises because some of the prices you can get are absolutely incredible. And there's also not many that do them. Not every single cruise line does them. And then over to onboard experiences. So your accommodations. As per most other cruise lines, you've got your interior, your exterior or outside or sea view, your balcony, right the way through to your suites. And I'm going to show you their new suites in a second. And your dining options on board. Again, I just don't have the space on a presentation to even list all of the restaurants, to be honest. But you can see here, like this one is literally surrounded. Again, something like you would see in Dubai, one of these big fancy suites, surrounded by literally an aquarium, basically. But you've got your more relaxed buffet style main restaurant right the way through to your specialty restaurants. Do bear in mind that some of the specialty restaurants will carry an extra fee. There's no harm in telling your customers that these kind of, in fact, I would absolutely make sure you do tell your customers that some of these specialty restaurants do hold a cover charge. But well worth it. And then the entertainment and the activities, again, I could have absolutely just listed activity upon activity. But you've got your Broadway style shows in the evening, live performances, themed parties, dance classes, cooking lessons, sports competitions. Obviously, children are completely catered for as well. And different age children will have different areas and different zones that they go into, different activities as well. They don't just put you in a kids club and that's it. You play with the toys or the Xboxes and what have you, age dependent, of course. They will also do different activities like science clubs and things like that. They are very, very good. And of course, every single cruise has one. They have a wellness and spa service, you name it, they do it. From your massages to your facials, your wellness, full wellness programs. Anybody who is very fitness orientated, you've got your always state of the art gym. They will also have like juices and everything you'd sort of think of if you were thinking of like a real health nut or a real fitness fanatic. And they do also do like yoga classes and all that kind of thing as well. So people can be as fit as they want, as active as they want, or literally just go and get themselves a head to toe massage. So as I said, family and kids programs, I do just have such little space. So I just popped the slightest thing on there, but as I say, there's loads. As you can see there, although not the greatest quality of picture, this is, as you can tell, one of for the younger, and this one sort of for the older kids. It's cool, it's hip, it looks chilled out and laid back. So yeah, loads of programs, loads of activities. They can just sit and chill and really kind of do nothing if they want to, but they also have DJ lessons for the older ones. All the Guitar Hero and things like that. There's absolutely all sorts going on. And then on to the next. So booking and pricing. So I've put on here with regards to how to book, JTA, Gold Medal, and the travel agent portal. So as I said, we do now have a direct contract with them in place, and I will ensure that all of those, the final details that are just being worked out are all done within, I can happily commit to the next week. And as I say, if you then just keep your eye on the likes of the Travel Cafe and the Facebook page, you will then know exactly how we go about registering you. JTA and Gold Medal are always on hand to help, but I do appreciate that sometimes people do like to go directly to the supplier itself. The only thing I would say is that MSC don't always have the greatest amount of flights. So just using an example from last week, maybe the week before, from an agent who contacted me about an MSC quote that she was doing. And obviously, I say we do have the direct contract in place. So I logged in very quickly and had a brief look at what her client was wanting. Now, obviously, the cruise was available, but the two airports that the customer would have happily travelled from, neither were available. Whereas with, I believe it was Gold Medal, they managed to get the cruise and the flights. So please just bear that in mind, that they just aren't the biggest when it comes to flights as well. Whereas obviously the JTA and Gold Medal, they can use pretty much anybody as long as it gets them there in time, etc. And then their pricing strategies. To be honest with you, this isn't new at all. Most do this. So it's a dynamic pricing, which anybody who was involved in the Oasis ticket scandal will know all about dynamic pricing, which is literally the more they sell, the higher the price goes. And it is as simple as that. If the demand is there and they can do it and they can get away with it, of course they're going to. So just again, bear that in mind. If you've got somebody who's thinking about doing a cruise this year, but they may leave it till next year, price up both. You know, you will always get the best prices further in advance. And promotions and discounts. So obviously it'll always be, they will carry through to all operators. So no matter if it's JTA, if it is Gold Medal, whoever it is you're using, they will be able to pick up promotions and discounts that the direct supplier can as well. Sometimes you may find that they don't have it for as long and things like that, because obviously they want to entice people to their own websites as well. But there is always different things going on. So your early bird discounts, they will do last minute, but obviously it may be there's only a couple of cabins left, so you can't really pick your choosy. Family packages, discount, loyalty programs for your clients as well. So if they enjoy going and they keep going, it will actually give them more benefits sort of every time they cruise. And then the experiences. So this is what I was trying to explain earlier before I actually started, or just as I started, but it wasn't coming out of my mouth right. So I'm just going to go straight into this. So on MSC, no matter what type of cabin you are booking, you can also book an experience. You have to book an experience. Bella is the one that is included automatically, and then there's a couple of upgrades. So when you book, even if this was an inside cabin, you can then choose between the experience that you want with it. So on a Bella, as you can see there, you can change your cruise if for whatever reason you couldn't go for a fee. MSC will assign your cabin to you within 4 days before the departure date. You cannot choose the cabin number. You could be assigned a cabin with an obstructed view or a partially obstructed view, or with a promenade view. That's for certain ships that have what we call an interior balcony. So there's still a balcony cabin, but rather than looking out to sea, they look over like the shopping deck or something like that. So just bear this in mind. So with a Bella cabin, your balcony could be obstructed. It could be partially obstructed by lifeboats and things, which you can see obviously down here. Or a promenade view, which obviously has still got the balcony, but it's interior. And then in a case of triple and quadruple, so if you've got 3 or 4 people in a cabin, availability dependent, they could split you into 2 cabins. You do get breakfast in the cabin with an additional delivery cost, and you will also get a discounted drinks package option, which is available at the time of booking. Excuse me. So that is the Bella experience. As I say, that's the standard. You can also then upgrade that to the Fantastica. That includes everything that we've just said, plus the opportunity to choose your cabin and its location. So obviously your cabin number, etc. 1 free cruise change. And what they mean by a free cruise change is if there is, usually there's an admin fee to change the cruise over, they will drop that. Where it says booking terms, conditions apply, what that means is if you were going on a 7-night cruise from Southampton and all of a sudden you decided to change that to a 2-week in the Caribbean, Obviously, it's not going to be the same price. What they're saying is they won't charge you the changeover fee. You also get your breakfast in your cabin with a free of charge delivery. Your discounted packages offer, but the discounts are slightly better than on the Bella, and 24-hour room service with free delivery as well. And you can also go for the Aurea experience. So that is everything we've just spoken about, plus access to the thermal spa, adult only, and you do have to make a reservation for that. A welcome package of Prosecco and chocolate in your cabin. Dine at any time you choose. Free access to the top exclusive solarium. So obviously only certain people can go in there, should I say. Discounted packages offer. So that might be discount on spa treatments, on on the specialty restaurants, etc. 10% discount on all spa treatments purchased on board. Priority boarding and luggage drop off. So you're first on the ship. And then for the suites, if you have a suite and you also book into the Aurea experience, you get your espresso machine amenities, complimentary ironing, which is 2 items per suite, which is great if you've got like if you go into one of the formal nights, the captain's gala or something like that. Again, suites only, you get the premium mini bar and you get the first stock for free. You get premium relaxation amenities in each suite as well, which includes your bathrobes, your slippers, and your bespoke med bath amenities. And you get priority tender and disembarkation. So if you, whatever port it is you coming into, Rome, Barcelona, wherever it may be, if it's a tender, so if it's a boat basically from the ship to the port itself, then you get priority for that. If the port is right the way up to the shore, shall we say, and you can hop straight off, you also get priority disembarkation as well. And then the yacht club. So this is actually quite new. This is a whole thing on its own, aside from those 3 experiences there. So it's a completely private area dedicated only to yacht club customers. They class this as a ship within a ship. It's got its own suites, 24-hour butler service, a dedicated concierge reception, exclusive access to private venues, including a restaurant, a lounge, a pool, a sun deck, along with an all-inclusive premium drinks service. So all of your premium drinks are included if you have a customer that is in the yacht club that goes for a yacht club suite. You also get unlimited internet access, as well as separate entertainment and recreational activities. So you've got the thermal area in the spa, Broadway-style theatre shows. Again, this is separate to the ones that you will find, hence they're calling it a ship within a ship. And then with regards to children and families, because they do also cater, it's not adult only in the yacht club. They've got the separate kids club, the aqua park, so there's all sorts going on. All MSC yacht clubs on the ships provide refined deluxe suites, all with balconies, all with spacious wardrobes, and then you go right the way up to a royal suite. I've got a couple of photographs for you in a second anyway. On, again, they're referring back to these classes. So on Fantasia class of ship, you can also choose from grand suites, executive and family suites, which have your separate living area, etc. They're all very modern. They're all very new. You've got duplex suites on the way. They've got whirlpools located only at the front of the ship to ensure, obviously, you're also getting the best views as well. You've got owner suites on some of them. Again, duplex, certainly great if you've got children. Obviously, I'm certainly not going to come out and say these are absolutely amazing prices. you're not really getting higher luxury than this. So, you know, you are absolutely paying for it as well. But once your client is aware of that, of what they're getting, etc., they'll understand cost wise. So this is a very brief video. Okay. So I apologize. I am aware that there was no video, no sound on that video. It was just somebody voicing over saying, you know, somebody, you've got a butler to take care of everything. It's exclusive, it's our ship within a ship, and it's our most luxurious way of cruising. So I do apologize that you couldn't hear anything. Thankfully, that was just a short video. So I've just taken some snapshots here of some of the different accommodations, just to give you an idea. As you can see, I mean, you only have to look at that first one. It's hard to even believe that this is on board a ship. But yeah, it absolutely is. And this is part of the yacht club. This is a bedroom here, and unfortunately I've had to like shrink them and stuff, but don't know if you can just see here, that is a staircase. So this is one of the duplex. So this is just the bedroom upstairs. Bathroom here, one of the suites with a private whirlpool, and again, this is a duplex, and this is obviously the downstairs. So they're very brief snapshots, but I just wanted to give you an idea of some of the different accommodations you can get within the yacht club. I think it's safe to say that that is just like another world. And then we've got customer experience and reviews. So common passenger feedback is food and entertainment. What I will say is, with regards to being on a ship for 3 days, 5 days, 10 days, 7 days, 14 days, food is always going to be high up on people's priority list, always. Entertainment, you always need something to do. So the fact that they're the highest form of passenger feedback, to me, is absolutely fantastic. They also are not scared of saying, we know that we've got things to work on. So within their service quality, unfortunately, people are giving very inconsistent passenger feedback. The reason they're open and the reason that they will happily tell you that they've had issues with this is because they always want to work on it. They're not trying to hide that people have come back and said, actually, I wasn't happy with this service. This service wasn't great. Because what they can then do is take that away and say, we've had a few people saying this now, we need to change it. So high quality of food, high quality of entertainment, and absolutely they are working on any service quality across different ships. So in their eyes, it doesn't matter which ship you're on, which size ship, which class of ship, as they will call them, you should be receiving the same service across the board. So there's always different awards going on. So they absolutely have won awards for service, innovative ship design, high rankings in customer satisfaction. Obviously, that's very overall. Family-friendly experiences and environmentally sustainable practices. I'm sure that they'll add more awards as they go along, and they'll start, introducing new things as well. But that's just a very slight overview. And then just a couple of tips. So excursions, I'm sure we know this, but also I've just realised I have absolutely spelt travellers wrong, so please blame me. I do apologise. It's not like me. It must have been getting late at night. Anyway, yes, excursions, always book them early, whether that is through the ship, through MSC themselves or somebody else. It does not matter. They still only have a certain number of spaces. It may be that there's only so many buses or coaches or whatever it might be, and from insurance purposes, there's only so many people that they can take on a trip. So do just bear that in mind. And review your ship layouts before departure. And again, that is literally just to really catch your bearings. I've been on a couple of very, very large ships, and I remember the first one, it wasn't with MSC, it was with another company. But we were walking, instead of instead of walking like in a straight line, we were walking across the opposite side of the ship. So instead of walking like up and down, we were walking left to right and just couldn't understand where we were going wrong. But it was that big. And we hadn't done anything before. We just plonked ourselves on and off we went. And it was the worst thing we'd ever done. Common complaints include waiting times at embarkation and service discrepancies across the ship. So service discrepancies across the ships, we absolutely have just spoken about. Times at embarkation. Now, this will be, unfortunately, because everybody just wants to scram, and get off. The whole point of a cruise is to kind of be a little bit more relaxed and a little bit more laid back. Just take your time. They're not going to leave without you. This is obviously getting off the ship. Have your breakfast, chill out a little bit, and then go and work your way off the ship in Barcelona, wherever you might be. If everybody wants to get to the same place at the same time, there absolutely is always going to be issues. And again, this has been taken from MSC. This is me taking MSC's words here. And although it's obviously, as a page, it's a negative page, I wanted to put it in here because it just shows that they are happy to say we've had these issues, we're working on them. So I always appreciate that when it comes to anything at all, buying and selling. So I just thought I would put that in there. As I say, we did touch on it earlier. There's certainly no signs of MSC stopping. They're not done at the 19 ships that they've got. They are always looking at new ways of expanding, and it says they're investing in next generation ships, groundbreaking eco-friendly technologies, enhancing guest experiences through innovative entertainment options, upscaling the dining even more, and setting trends. So no idea what's to come, but it does seem quite exciting. And that is the end of the presentation. So let me just stop sharing my screen and come back to you. So I hope that you got a little bit of something out of that. As I say, there is so much more you could go into, but we don't have a huge amount of time. It's nice to just pick out the main things, certainly with MSC specifically, their experiences, what you get included, what the upgrades are, and obviously these new things, the yacht club, being able to see just even snapshot images of some of their accommodations. I'm sure we can all agree that they just look unbelievable. I mean, they're higher than, your 5-star hotels. Looking at those accommodations, it's just out of this world. So I do hope that everybody has got something out of this. If you do have any other questions, please, by all means, drop me an email or a message. I'll try and answer anything I can. As I say, I absolutely am working on just those last details of getting people registered with MSC, but you do have other options, and certainly not bad options with regards to the fact that they don't have the largest selection of flights directly through MSC and things like that. The guys at JTA and Gold Medal will help you with anything, any questions. You certainly never have to feel stupid. But again, if you just take a few things out of that and you can run with them, then my job's done with regards to this training. So thank you everybody for coming on. And as I say, anything else at all, please let me know. And I look forward to seeing everybody on the next training. Thank you.